Hi, I'm Shivam,
Hi, I'm Izzy,
and this is PhoenixChat.
where one of us can read.
Which one?
You find out.
Hi again, and welcome back to another episode of PhoenixChat. Sorry for the delay getting this episode out. Had some weird scheduling things, but we're back. And fortunately, I think last time we ended up on the cliffhanger of everyone dying, and then Morgan and Hops found out that in the city of Soliana was Morgan's father, Spencer Weaver. Spencer kind of told him that Morgan was the only person who could go save the party and the town of Soliana, but he had to go back in time and make sure that none of the events transpired. So Morgan went back in time in a fucking panic. He was running around, and when he touched hands with the party also remembered all the memories of what was to happen and their eventual deaths. And now all the party realizes they just need to do two simple things. One, get the necklaces from Valthana and Philippa, and two, get a mystical death brand off of Boondock. No big deal. Pretty easy.
Yeah, just no big deal.
Yeah, so after I presented you with this problem, what were you thinking about, how you needed to go about these two issues?
So, in Juliet's mind, with the whole necklace thing, she knew that if we went up to the fucking leaders with this problem, they were not gonna believe us whatsoever. Time travel, what the fuck? So she was like, we're probably gonna have to steal it, and if it means a bunch of lives are going to be saved, then yeah, she's gonna steal it. I mean, she probably would have done it anyway, regardless of that. But but Boondock was up and down against it, and she's just like, well, if we don't do this, people are gonna die, so whatever, but okay. But with the brand, Juliet's not necessarily into the whole scientific aspect of things, so this whole brand and the Boondock and all that, she had no idea what to do. She's more of she knows magic, arcana, spiritual stuff, so she's like, I got nothing. We strap a squirrel to him, put the brand on the squirrel, call it good. I don't know.
Yeah, God. At least you guys had the bright idea of talk to an NPC for help, so you decided to call up your fox friend, who was unnamed at this point, and you're just oh hey, can I name him? And then I'm like, oh, but he's he's a sentient being. He probably has a name. You should just ask him his name. And you're just like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And so you fucking call him up, and you're like, hey, what is your name, sir? And I realized, why did I do this to myself? I actually didn't have a name prepared. I just, on instinct told you, ask this person his name because, he's a sentient person. I realized, and I just panicked and I said on the spot, Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, for a fucking, messenger of a goddess.
Oh my God.
Who the fuck names him Bartholomew? I'm like, no, that's
I fucked up. I fucked up so bad.
I'm like, no, that's dumb. I'm gonna rename him. So now his name is Dax, because that's infinitely cooler.
It is.
So I scoop up Dax, and I'm like, hey, there's a problemo. Can you help? And he's like, oh, yeah, what's up? I'm like, there's a brand. And he's like, oh, take me to this brand. And so I'm like, Boondock, let him sniff you. I literally am just holding this fucking box, and Boondock's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. It's in the middle of a crowded restaurant, by the way, too.
So I put the box to Boondock, and it just takes a big old whiff, and it's like, that's disgusting. And Boondock's like,
Boondock's just, okay, fuck it. But the fox is like, yeah, this is some crazy powerful death magic. I don't really know what we can do about this. And she asks, like, oh, can Inario Kami just fix this? And, like, Dax is like, Inario Kami is kind of all about, like, life magic, and this is very, very strong death magic, which Inario Kami does not have domain over. And so I think your original plan was like, oh, can I contact whatever, like, is involved with this? And Dax is like, holy fuck, no, please, for the love of God, whatever, like, do not make deals with death gods. Do not fuck around with this kind of extremely dark magic. And you're like, well, what if I did fuck around, though?
Fuck around, find out. We don't know. Still on the table, by the way.
God. Yeah, and so it was one of those points where, like, I think I just straight up had Dax just kind of tell you guys, like, oh, well, here's a really kind of almost bad idea, but, after you guys described what happened in the future, because Legion induced the brand, and like you realized Legion said something specific. The only way to remove the brand is if Boondock dies, because the brand is induced, or someone else kills him. And so like Dax gets to thinking, and just like, okay, extremely bad idea. What if we are the people who induce the brands instead of Legion? And so, like, Dax goes on to explain, like, it basically, like, just takes in, like, energy as from a person's, like, life force. But if, you talk to some people, maybe you can, like, reroute power into the brand, from some kind of, like, external big, like, energy source, and instead use that power instead of Boondock's life force that it eats up. And so you guys ask, like, okay, so where can we find, like, a big power source that's big enough? And Sprout chimes in and says, oh, there's a large backup generator that in Soliana that we could possibly use. So you guys now had a plan then for the Boondock thing, and you guys also realized, though, like, if you induce the brand, it's basically going to come up with just a big, like, alarm tracking system that will alert Legion exactly where you guys are. So you guys realize, okay, first things first, let's get the necklaces from Valtan and Philippa. And so your idea was just go immediately to them and steal it, but Boondock wants to do it like the proper way, and it's like, yeah, you can't just steal things. And so he's like, okay, let's just go to the guild hall, talk to Mira, see what we can do about this. Yeah, you want to explain the conversation with Mira?
Yeah, so we go to Mira, because we're like, hey, so we got a problemo, and Mira's like, God, what? And so we explained to her, and she's like, well, you're probably gonna have your best chance to speak with them directly is if you go talk to their advisor. We're like, well, who the fuck is the advisor? And she's like, nobody fucking likes him, but here's the address to go to. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then she's like, when you talk to the advisor, you can't bring any weapons, nothing. And we're like, okay, whatever. So not only did we go there, but we also went to
there was also one more thing with Mira.
Yeah.
Mira is in fact a real one, so she said, like, hey, just so, like, because you guys managed to actually, like, convince her, because Boondock just, like, deadpanned explained what was happening, and she, like, she realized, like, Boondock's not the type to lie. And she says, like, okay, so if shit goes real bad then, and, like, you can't convince the advisor, and this is the last resort here, as she wrote down the address to the dragons, and basically just straight up said, like, okay, shit goes bad, just go straight to the dragons, and, like, do what you gotta do. I can't, like, officially endorse this or anything like that, but do what you gotta do to save the city here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you guys kind of realized my implication with that one, but you decided to go with the advisor first. Before you went to the advisor, you tried to see, like, oh, we need to get some, like, proof associated. Maybe if we go talk to Dr. Taylor's office, we could find Spencer and, like, just one, like, either, like, like, bring him into custody and have him say his side of the story and, like, give any more information. So you had Dr. Taylor's office, and Dr. Taylor's missing, and also all the evidence that you guys would need is also missing. Ooh.
All the big oofs.
Well, but you went to the advisor, if you want to explain.
So we go to the advisor, and we were gonna go in, but then we were stopped because there's guards out in the front, because, you know, it's the fucking dragon's advisor, who's not, you know, Essen recognized this big old dragonborn man that's just chilling there. His name is Alamo Buck. He's a famous adventurer who led a stand against an army of the undead. So Boondock is like, oh my gosh, Lucky literally used to worship this dude. Calls Lucky. Lucky's freaking the fuck out like a little fanboy and asks for an autograph. That book is like, okay.
Didn't you call Lucky a simp?
Yeah. Probably.
God.
That makes sense. But yeah, I probably did. Let's call it. So once that's all done and over with, Bucky is like, yeah, this guy, his name's Thomas, but he likes to go by Thomas the Elegant. And all of us were like, no, this fucker.
God.
So,
yeah.
So my plan, because Essen and Hops are on the bad list of fucking Thomas right now, like, because Essen punched him, Hops licked him, and I'm like, okay, you two, stay outside. We're gonna go talk to him. So, when we go in, there's Thomas the asshole, and he's like, oh, it's you. And I'm like, hey, I actually didn't do anything to you as my friends, but whatever. But Juliet didn't say anything. Boondock and Morgan tried to explain to him that he went back in time, everyone died, everything, right? And that they needed to get the necklaces off of the district leaders. Well, Thomas says that he was the one who gifted the district leaders the necklaces, so party was making a very serious accusation, and everyone's like, oh, fuck. And then Thomas asked for physical proof that Morgan actually went back in time, and Morgan's like, we tried the zappy thing and it doesn't work. It only worked with the people who died, so we're like, shit. So Boondock started threatening Thomas, asking him if his reputation was really worth people dying, and Thomas called the guards to escort the party out. Well, since Juliet and her little fucking flirtatious self asked to be alone, fucking schmoozing mode, I wanted to throw up in my mouth. So bad.
I think both of us did.
All of us did.
God.
Tells Thomas that she couldn't bear if something happened to him, and if he couldn't bear if something happened to her. Just full on schmooze fest. And she was confused about her friends, but doesn't want to take the chance, blah, 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 blah. All this stupid shit. Thomas explicitly says, I can assure you that nothing bad will happen to the two of us. From that, Juliet, with her +3 intelligence, the highest intelligence of the party, by the way. Terrifying. Realizes that he's in on it with Legion. And she's like, oh, fuck. So, we go outside and we start talking about how we can try to do this, we can get the necklaces away, but honestly, there's probably not going to be another way other than stealing it. And Boondock is so fucking against this. He's like, that's illegal. This is not worth it. And finally, Juliet, people are finally with her for once. Jesus Christ. She's like, okay, look, if they don't listen to us, which I know that they're not going to, I'm going to go in, grab the necklaces, and we'll see if there's any magic or whatever. And if she's wrong, Boondock can fucking arrest her after all of this shit. And so...
Yeah, I think my favorite line from that, argument in character was, you straight up just accusing Boondock, are you trying to get everyone killed again?
Oh, yeah, I did say that. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, that was spicy.
Spicy.
Yeah, oh my god. But Boondock just insisted all that needed to happen was that they just stroll up to the dragon's mansion, which is technically trespassing, and they just needed to talk, and they'd understand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I also forgot about one other thing. Before you guys left, Buck was kind of just, peeking, out the door and just kind of looks at Boondock and says, ooh, just so you know, is that a sawn-off shotgun,
oh, yeah!
on your guntar? And Boondock's like, yeah, why? And so, Buck says, yeah, I didn't see anything, but just so you know, technically speaking, sawn-off shotguns are illegal in Soliana, but, as long as you don't fire the thing, you should be good. And so Boondock's just wait, am I not allowed to have the shotgun, or, am I not allowed to fire it? What's the actual law? And Buck's like, well, I guess the law would specifically state you're not allowed to have it, but no one's gonna call you out on it. But Boondock is straight up nope, He immediately puts away the guntar, refuses to use it until, they get a permit in order to actually use it. Oh, God. So now Boondock's effectively, decently weaponless. For a good portion of this arc.
Yeah.
But you guys went to the district leader's house, and Boondock and Morgan Strip knocked on the door, and a guard kind of walks up to them and says, like, "Hey, you guys
guard.
like what?"
Catboy guard.
It's a Catboy guard, yes, because the token apparently looks like a Catboy.
It is a Catboy.
Oh god. But he walks over and he basically says, like, "Hey, technically you guys aren't supposed to, like, be here or anything," but they kind of see, like, Sprout's, like, with you guys. It's just kind of like, "Oh, well, I mean, I guess technically so, like, what do you guys want again?" And so, like, Boondock and Morgan try to explain the whole thing with the time travel and everything like that, and basically say, like, "Hey, can you just tell, like, Velthana and Philippa to just check the necklaces?" And so the guard says, I guess I'll try. And as the guard goes in, Sprout says to Boondock, "Hey, just so you know, like, they're pretty likely to dismiss your claims and stuff like that, and, like, what's likely going to happen is, like, that guard's going to come out in a few minutes and say, like, oh, the dragons are just going to, the Velthana and Philippa are going to check it out, but, like, they're not actually going to check it out." And sure enough, just as Sprout said, the guard comes out and says, "Yeah, they said they'll check it out." And Boondock just says, like, "Okay, like, are they actually going to check it out, or are you just telling me that?" And the guard's like, I can't do anything else, man. I can't force them to do anything here. And I think at a certain point, like, Morgan rolled a
Didn't he roll like
dirty
a nat
20. Yeah, it was really high. It was like a 24 or something like that. On a 25, I would have had the guard, like, go in by himself to try and get the necklaces, and the guard would have gotten himself caught, but, like, but he would have gone in and done that. On a 24, though, what the guard decided to do is just say, like, "Hey, like, please don't be fucking with me here. Like, I'm absolutely going to lose my job if you guys are, like, lying." But as he unlocks the front door and says, like, the necklaces are in the room on the left, just go in and grab it. I didn't see anything. Just please, if this is actually true, just go and do it by yourself. And so, like, Boondock kind of tries to, like, but are we actually allowed to go in there before, like, Julia just, like, I think Julia at that point just went.
I went invisible because I got a feat from an Kami that makes me fucking invisible. So I was fucking Newman. So when I go in there and I go to the door, there was what was it?
An arcane lock.
Yes, an arcane lock, and I fucking rolled a 25 or something like that. And so Julia was like, "Oh, I fucking know what this is." Fucking easily breaks it without, like, setting off any alarms.
Well, the way the fucking lock works, though, is the lock needs magic flowing into it in order to be picked. And so, like, as you, like, walked up and realized this, you slowly realize, oh fuck, the only other person who knows magic is Boondock, and technically Morgan, but Morgan's okay at stealth. As you just kind of just, like, scream into the void for a second, realizing my stupid ass trap. My god.
I also have, like, a tiny bit of magic.
Yeah, you have a tiny bit of magic, and so I'm like, okay, you need to roll a 25 plus in order to try and pick the lock while also flowing magic into it. And I forgot you're a fucking rogue, so you actually were able to roll a fucking 28. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, fine, you managed to pick the lock without my cheesy dumbass thing.
So, she goes in, and you could see the necklaces are, like, out on display, and I'm like, that's fucking sus. I rolled insight or investigation or something, and yeah, there's a fucking mechanism that'll make an alarm go off if you don't do anything. So, from
it's the Indiana Jones trap where, like, if, like, the weight shifts off the pressure plate, then, like, the alarm's gonna go off.
So, from the very first session, we all got to roll a D100 and had something from the fucking table. And I had this stupid cone that sucks the fat out of things. That did absolutely nothing. Like, I didn't know what to use it for. This was the moment. Fucking Indiana Jones swapped the goddamn things and got out.
But you got the necklaces, and you went back to the hotel.
Yeah, and then we called up Dax again, like, hey, buddy.
Yes, and also... Holy fuck. You guys are fucking dumbasses, and I hate you all.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. But what ended up happening was that you call Dax up. Dax is like, okay, let's go and try and see what we need to do next. And so like you guys realize like, oh, like what's next? We have the necklaces. Everything's good. The only thing we need to do now is just go fix the brand off of like Boondock and stuff like that. And so I have Dax kind of chime in and say like, I mean, yeah, but like just so you guys know, because you guys have the necklaces and stuff like that, if you guys can prove that like the necklaces are bad, you guys can effectively prove that Thomas the Elegant is like in on this whole thing and like, you know, is doing some bad shit. And so like you guys are like, oh, well like we're kind of time limited here, so oh, I know what we'll do. Sprout, can you go and talk to Thomas the Elegant by yourself? And go see if you can just like go like arrest him and stuff like that? Yeah, you, Sprout, local himbo who's known to be like, you know, a fucking himbo. And so Sprout's just kind of like, I mean, I guess we can try to do that, but just like... And so I decided to specifically say this as Sprout. This was barely as Sprout. This was mostly me as the DM saying this. But Sprout says, if you guys decide to leave Thomas alone and stuff like that, or like if I like go decide to do this, like there's a chance that Thomas might get away. And Juliet immediately fucking pipes up and says, oh, if he gets away, we'll find him. And the rest of the party agrees, like, oh yeah, no, we can totally track him down. What the fuck are you talking about? It was me trying to tell you, no, you will not be able to track him. Fucking Christ, you're all so fucking dumb. Ugh. But I basically I straight up just told you guys, like, no, stop being dumbasses here. You won't be able to find him. This is me, Shivam the DM, telling you won't be able to find him, dipshit. But I decided to move the plot along by just saying, like, having Sprout just like, okay, what if we just, like, if we talk to Valthana and Philippa at this point, like, they're probably gonna start screaming at us, but, like, if we can prove that these necklaces have, like, the brand thing on them, like, right away, then, like, they'll see that, like, we're not in the wrong here, right? And at that point, Sprout's phone is ringing, and he can see that it's, Valthana calling him, as he kind of says, like, oh, should I pick this up?
Yeah.
But he answers, and Valthana just immediately starts, like, fucking shrieking on the phone, just, like, where the fuck are the necklaces, where the fuck are your friends, like, I just heard, like, they fucking, like, stole some shit, like, what the fuck's wrong with them, it's like, look, we can explain everything, we'll just go back over there, and we'll show you if these necklaces are, like, trapped, and so you guys head back over there, Valthana's fucking, like, standing there, fucking pissed off, like, Soy at her side, as you take the necklace, you put it on a rock, and Morgan casts Spare the Dying, a necromancy cantrip, in order to activate it. And you guys remember, like, Legion cast necromancy in order to activate the necklaces and cause the brand to activate. Mm-hmm. And so, like, Morgan casts it, and for a second nothing happens, but then all of a sudden, arcane energy just crackles around it, as a brand just suddenly, like, almost splits the rock, just, like, right in half. And as Valthana just, like, looks, like, shocked for a second, before, like, another wave of anger just, like, wipes over her face, she just, like, sighs and says, I'm gonna fucking kill Thomas the Elegant! And so, like, fucking, like, Juliet's just, like, cheering, everyone's having a fucking, like, great time, like, yes, God, absolutely, please, as Valthana just, like, walks inside, walks back out with a bag of gold, tosses it to Boondock, and says, there's 1,000 gold in that bag, there's 1,500 more if you guys, go out and kill Thomas the Elegant, as Juliet just says yes, and sprints off. And Boondock says, like, wait, like, how do we, like, is Buck going to know that, like, we're going to arrest him proper and stuff like that? As Valthana scribbles out a proper, like, arrest warrant and hands it to Boondock. But Juliet's off, and she is going there without any sort of warrant to try to arrest Thomas the Elegant. If you want to explain what happened next.
I'm so stupid. So So I sprint there. We have to take our weapons off at the door, so I give it to him. I convince the 2 guards to leave the room somehow, but Buck had to come in, and Buck had to I asked Buck to please turn the fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
So this was in my head, my goal. I was gonna kind of seduce him to the point he would let his guard down and be like, oh, this is fine, everything's fine, she's just, gonna give a little love on me, and she was gonna up and fucking snap his neck in 2. That's what my plan was. Did that happen? No, it did not happen, because
the guards were in place to prevent you from doing this exact thing. And also, the sheer amount of force required to snap someone's neck would be an extremely high athletics roll. Julia has fucking noodle arms with a -1, so, you would have tried to do that, and, you would have just, awkwardly just kind of, twisted a little bit, and just kind of, just moved his head to the side as you're just kind of, straining and grunting. It would have been such a shit show, but,
Now with my little Jade Viper bracelet, I could have done it. Damn.
Yeah, no, that's why I gave you it after the fact.
Oh, damn.
But Buck just kind of says, I can't turn around. The entire point is me is I'm a guard here. I can't do this. That's not the point. But as you start trying to seduce him more and more, he's kind of looking a little bit more away, and just kind of regretting oh god, why the fuck did I take this fucking job? This is literally the worst. And as he's kind of looking away for a second, you try to dig your nails into Thomas the Elegant's flesh. So you just kind of lean in close and whisper, "You're gonna fucking die."
Yep.
And at that point, Thomas starts fucking flailing as Buck takes his fingers out of his ears and finally snaps to attention. He's "Oh fuck, it's happening." As Buck casts sleep on Juliet to make her pass out.
Cries.
If you hadn't been affected by that sleep, shit would have gone so bad.
Yeah, it would have been really bad.
But we'll talk about how badly you fucked up in part 2.
I didn't fuck up that bad. It would have been bad, but I don't think it was that bad.
If you hadn't been hit by that sleep, if I hadn't managed to save it, I think Juliet would be dead.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, but so, you fucking hit the ground, the rest of the party gets there to see Buck is currently, handcuffing a passed-out Juliet, as Boondock, fucking, gives the warrant to Buck, as he just, runs over with just, a flying kick to Thomas the Elegant's face, as Buck just kind of reads it and says, wait, she had an arrest warrant to actually take down, Thomas the Elegant, and just kind of looks towards the rest of the party wait, why wasn't she with the rest of you guys then? Why'd she do this dumbass thing?
It's a fucking +3 that she never uses for a reason.
Oh my god. But you guys do manage to fucking kick the shit out of Thomas the Elegant. And as you do, Boondock pulls out the gun tar, cocks the fucking shotgun, and just straight up says Thomas the Elegant, for your crimes against it, you have been found guilty of treason in Soliana. The punishment for this is going to be swift and final. As he cocks the shotgun and blows off Thomas the Elegant's head. Fucking Western style execution. And everyone's just kind of high-fiving, just yeah, we did it, hell yeah, guys. As Thomas's body, without the head, begins to twitch. And all of a sudden, his ribcage opens up like a reverse bear trap and just begins to kind of just snap open and close as it kind of talks like a mouth. As you guys can hear Legion's voice just saying wow, I can't believe you guys managed to suss out this dipshit. But I did put a little bit of a fail-safe mechanism on him. If anyone kills him but me, well, this happens. As Thomas the Elegant begins to rise up into the air and start attacking people. And as he does, there's suddenly this wave of necrotic energy as I think Aston manages to fucking, like, poke Juliet awake and get, like, Buck poke Juliet awake and get the handcuffs off her. But Juliet still has no weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys roll initiative, Juliet with no weapons. And before, like, the battle even starts, the Thomas the Elegant suddenly just lets out this massive wave of necrotic energy. And, like, the damage was enough to knock out Juliet in one shot. But, like, as the necrotic energy wipes over you guys, like, you guys think like, I should be taking damage right now, and it's weird that I'm not. And as you guys kind of look around to see what the hell is going on, you can see that Buck has 4 radiant bolts of energy connected from you guys to him, as he's taken every single point of damage that you guys would have taken as he passes out, or he fucking collapses on the ground bleeding out.
We were all crying.
But you start the battle. It was pretty, like, touch and go, but, like, Juliet was able to drag Buck, like, out of there as, like, and hand him over to the other guards who were able to at least, like, stabilize him. And the rest of you guys will just immediately kind of start blasting and manage to bring it down. Yeah, and I think Juliet even, like, gets, like, the last shot after it, like, manages to, like, knock out Boondock. And as she just, like, pins it to the fucking wall, just right into its horrible ribcage mouth.
Yep.
Oh my god. But you get Buck back up, you get Boondock back up, and as you all kind of realize, like, alright, that was good. We still need to try and figure out a way to save Boondock, though. As we'll talk about the rest of that session next week. Yeah, so shout-outs here. So a special shout-out to our patrons, Spicy Turntable, Nyquil Dreamer, and the Modgoth. You guys allow us to create more and better content for you guys. If you're not on our Patreon, I suggest you check it out. We're posting previews for our new animatic series that hopefully should be coming out in fall. Yeah, Keepers of Order, and we are going to be posting a new preview of that. That should have pretty much the finalized sketches as well as the final voice actors around the time of this episode's release. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, you want to talk about our new Twitch stream,
Yes.
by the way?
So, if you go to Twitch and type in Keeper of Kitsune, you will find our Twitch stream on Tuesdays, 2:30 CST and 3:30 EST time. We are going to be streaming our new campaign called Illuna Nights, and you will see the nightmare that is Indigo.
Yeah. Yeah, so hang out with us live Tuesdays, 2:30 CST. If you can't make that time, the VOD should be up on here. By the time this episode comes out, we should have episode 1 already up there. And we're actually going to be, like, recording this right after this, like, recording session. So, yeah, hopefully it went really well by the time you're listening to it. Yeah, you got a fun fact to lead us out with?
Yes, so Buck actually has a wife and 2 eggs, so that's why he accepted the job under Thomas. Otherwise, why the fuck would he work for that asshole? Okay. PhoenixChat!